Good morning, flower friends. I'm going to take you on our mid-July walk around the gardens. Try not to get this too long, but you know me. So let's get rolling. This is mid-July. Can you believe it already? And so many things are blooming. I've got a few things done, way more to do, but you know I love it all. So first of all, we're going to start by my beautiful tree rose here on the deck. Look at that. This is my iceberg. It's the burgundy iceberg and the white iceberg standard. I just saw a fellow gardener here in Northern California. Hers is this big, round, bushy ball, and I was so envious, but mine has to take a real hard prune and get through the crazy winters we have. So I'm content with my beautiful V-shaped standard here. I tell myself that, right? But yeah, it's just doing gorgeous. And this is the one someone asked me about, this sedum that's in here at the top that I use like a mulch in this pot, and they work beautifully together. No matter how much I water the rose, this sedum does fine, probably because it's shallower, so it drains and dries the top well enough that it just keeps on going. And I put one of my bamboos here. I love my bamboos in my pots all around. So yeah, my Zephyrine is still putting on some blooms. I'm trying to keep it well deadheaded this year to keep it blooming, making sure I'm feeding it. Oh, look at this is my Dreamweaver rose. We'll put it an issue I'm having this year, and it's all my doing. So yeah, we'll get rolling. Let's start in the entrance garden. The sun's coming out. I was trying to get out here a little bit sooner, but life gets in the way, and I can't get out here as soon as I want. I'm trying to get out here to get some work done because I want to work while it's cooler. All right. I've got to replant my other one of these. This is my Tequila Supreme rose, and I had 4 in here. Right now I just have the 3. One was getting eaten to death by a gopher. I have started to do the spray, and hopefully it will work. This Salvia nemorosa, Meadowland Sage, I need to give it a really good deadhead because it's going over, but still very popular with the bees. My Totally Tangerine Geum, it just is reblooming so wonderfully. The Gaillardias in here are working. I put these in last fall to go ahead and bloom. This year in here, this is my artist garden with orange, blues, and purples. And down here's one of my salvias. Forgive my shadow, but this one is the blue and white one. I will find the tag for it. I can't remember offhand, but I'm loving the contrasting colors on this. And it's really spreading. I need to cut it back a little bit. And I could start the cuttings now, too, to make more of that one. Some more geums here. These are the ones I grew from seed. I am a new convert to geums. I love these things. And as long as I keep them deadheaded, they seem to be reblooming well. Look at here. Here's one of my drumstick alliums. These things spread from seed as well as the little bulbs in the ground, but very popular with the pollinators. Here you see it's out in the path, but I'm going to let it stay. Oh, here's my Erigeron. Isn't that beautiful? This is Wayne Roderick. This one's a California native. This was a volunteer. I didn't want yellow in here, but you know what? It's got an orange center, so we're going with this one. I thought it might be a seedling of this one and I'd get another double, but that hasn't happened. So my penstemon here needs a really good deadhead, but it still has such pretty color on it. Very popular with the hummingbirds. This is still an area that I'm going to work on. I think I'm going to sow some zinnias in here. I've got to get this cleaned out today. I'll put down some extra compost and sow the seeds. I have some that are in a real pretty orangey color, and so we'll just get them started and have some pretty orange color in here. This is just an area I haven't gotten to yet. And look at my crocosmia. Isn't that beautiful? I do need to stake it up so it's not out in the pathway, but you notice I only have one. I had tons, and I will show you what happened. See these right here? Yep, I'll show you the other end. Chewed off by gophers. I was so upset. They have not touched these in all the years past that I've been struggling. And this year, they decided to go for them. And that's why I don't have very many when I had tons and tons. So they must have found the corms and started eating them. Look at this is my Power Puff Pink rose. This has been so gorgeous. And I put in here some of the petunias, wave petunias that I started from seed. They were struggling in their little 4-inch pot. I kept debating on where to put them. And so I finally just plopped them in the bases of a lot of roses. Okay, here's my banana cream daisy. This one starts out this real pretty creamy yellow, and then it kind of fades to white. But I like this one stays a little bit shorter, and it does bloom quite well through the summer. I just love it next to, this is Bushy Boy Veronica. This thing is also an absolute stunner in my garden, a heavy performer. Verbascum, these are self-seeders. I love them. And so do the pollinators. Verbascum, very popular with the bees. Down there, I sowed some seeds. I just did a video on annual seeds you can sow in mid-July for continual color. Oh, look at the spider. This is my Olivia Austin rose. See, here's where I did another one of the petunias. This one is Tidal Wave Silver. This thing, it will just swamp plants. It gets so huge, but I can keep it in check. Up here, my phlox is starting to get going. The Monarda, look at that. The Monarda is also hugely popular with the pollinators. Look, there's a bee right on that one. More Verbascum that reseeded itself back there. I'm loving it right there. Perfect place for it. My butterfly bush is coming into bloom, doing beautifully. I've really pruned this back. It was much huger. I wanted it to be more tame and not take up so much room, so I really gave it a hard prune around it so I could just have the beauty of it without it taking over. And yeah, it's working very, very well. Another area that is a work in progress. I'm slowly curating what I want to put in here. I am letting the Sweet Williams go to seed, and they will spread and fill in there. And you can see, let me see if I could get back here without squishing anything. See that big dirt mound? That is the gophers. I'm hoping they don't get my European rose, or I've never had them touch my panicle hydrangeas, but you never know. And that Zinfandel is a favorite of mine. So that one will be coming into bloom probably the beginning of August. And that's beautiful because that's when a lot of other things are fading. That delphinium, I had to prop it back up. I didn't stake it sooner, so it got a little curvy. But that's okay. It's still gorgeous. So as far as the purples in my artist garden, this salvia, this is Mystic Spires. It was shaded by the other plants, so it's taking a little bit longer to get going. And then the Nepeta has been doing beautiful. Got a video coming up on Nepeta, catmint, whatever you want to call it. So this is a seedling from my Meadowlane Sage. You can also take cuttings. And so this one, you look at, is tremendously shorter, isn't it? You never know what it's going to perform like in different areas of your garden. But look at my wave petunias. I absolutely love them. They just fill in. For me, they take the cold a little bit better than other big petunias. And so, yeah, they just do gorgeous for me. And this is the original color. They started these wave petunias that really act like a big ground cover in, I think I first discovered them myself in 1998, and have grown them ever since. And they've always done beautiful in our conditions. More phlox coming in. These iris are all the same color. I'm going to put in some different colors, take out some of the purple ones. My Eden Rose, this year it's reblooming better than it ever has. So I'm not sure if it's the cooler temperatures or maybe it's just holding the blooms longer. But look at the clematis with it. That's one of my favorite things. I think I'm going to buy me another one of these clematis or take cuttings from this one because it just is such a performer this time of year. So here's my other barrel of petunias, just going crazy as well. They're loving the heat. Some crazy daisies they need to prop up. This one, I had one over in the other bed too that I forgot to feature, but this is Daisy May daisy. And I do like it. It does stay a bit shorter than many of the crazy daisies, probably by about a foot. So that's a feature that I'm enjoying. So this Agastache, this is Apache Sunset. I was going to move it over to the artist garden because it's the perfect color, and I never got to that. So I found it reseeded, and there's a second one in there. So I won't be sure this fall. I'll dig it up and put it over there instead of right here because it's kind of getting in the way of my perfectly Picasso Veronica. That one, I love that one. Oh, wow. What is so heavily scented right here? It smells so pretty. Maybe it's my phlox. So, yeah. Oh, there's some phlox getting ready to open. I love these crazy daisies. This is why I grow crazy daisies. Look how wonderful they are. I love the fruffy frilliness. This is my Sahara Rudbeckia. I tried growing some from the seeds I collected from these plants last year, and they came back the regular Rudbeckia. So it's one I'm going to have to, if I want more like this, I'm going to have to buy another packet of seeds. When we go back down the other way, I'll show you the other ones. This is my Millennium Allium. It's in a pot so the gophers didn't eat it, but I need to divide it so I can have more. So this fall, I'll probably get in here, dig it up, divide it, and then I'll get more. So here is my thread leaf cosmos, coreopsis, and it really wants to lean. I'm not sure why, if it's maybe the spray of my misters, or if it's just reaching for the sun, but it's so compact that it doesn't bother me. I just love that ferniness about it. This is another Veronica. Some salvias back there, my roses. Look at my Eden across the fence. Just blooming beautifully. Gorgeous. Love it. I got several of these Salvia Gregii in my garden. See the difference between this Mystic Spires? And this is the same as the one in the artist garden. You see how this one's fully blooming already? And yeah, so that's the difference. The other ones were shaded. This one was not. And now that it's in the sun because it's reached through the other plants, the others should get big now. So some salvias. Look at my hot raspberry butterfly bush. This one's supposed to stay more compact than my other one. Crazy Love Rose. Tangerine Skies Climber. This one, it hasn't been blooming as prolifically as the others. Maybe it gets too shaded here. As my this is an arbor rose. Yeah, so well, let's see. Maybe I just need to give it some extra love. So here is a lilac that's supposed to be a reblooming lilac. Maybe that's one. Oh, I could smell it. It smells so pretty. So it's still little. We'll see how it goes. Oh, look at this. Well, this hollyhock's leaning, but it's a white one. Yay! I wanted another white one, and I love this light pink. Look how short they are this year. I don't know if it's because we had so little rain over the winter. I'm just not sure what's going on with this. Because usually these get 6 feet tall. So who knows? These have behaved as perennials. I will collect the seeds of both of these and then reseed it and see if I get better results next year. Yeah, my dogwood's hanging in there. Actually, it looks much better this year than it did last year. So maybe it'll recover. It's got borers, and I was told it will not recover from borers, but it looks pretty good right now. So yeah, I've put some plants in. Oh no, look at this, my red gaillardia. It looks like it's not doing well here. Maybe it's not getting enough water. Okay, I'll have to make sure next time I water, which will be today, because I have an area that I just seeded. Let me see if I can move this sprinkler a little further over and it can maybe reach that area. Okay, I'll have to check on that later. Make sure it gets water, because that one is a really beautiful red one that I started from seed this winter. Look at this, penstemons doing beautifully. Doing gorgeous. Oh, there's a lily in there leaning on it. So I put this gar in the ground and it just didn't like the move. Oh, you know what? I see evidence of spider mites. So I've got to get that taken care of. Yeah, here's another perfectly Picasso. Veronica. This is where I cleared out an area and I seeded Cosmos. You can see some of the seedlings popping up. I just seeded this like 3 days ago, and they are loving this summer heat. So there is a phlox in there doing beautifully, and I don't remember putting that there, so it must be a seedling from another one. So who knows? Look, here's some more beautiful gaillardias. Look at this phlox. Isn't that one doing beautifully? Another perfectly Picasso Veronica. I've been putting this around everywhere. And these are more Sahara mix of the Rudbeckias. I love that burgundy color one. Yep, this is my Juliet rose. This is a David Austin rose that was used as a cutting rose and usually a florist rose. Had a hard time sourcing it, heard lots of good things about it. It is temperamental. It gets powdery mildew easy. You've really got to stay on top of it to keep it healthy. But yeah, I wanted to try it and see what all the fuss was about. Okay, I think I got everything on this side. Let's walk up and walk around. Let me go ahead and walk down this side. Look at these roses. Look at my garden gold. That's my mulch. I buy in bulk. So now I got to go around and mulch everything. I've almost used up all my turkey compost. Look at that. That pile was as big as this one. And yep, I've been using it extensively around the garden. So here, I wanted to get a close-up of Crazy Love. So beautiful. Might be my hot raspberry too. I'm loving that. Right now, doesn't it play off the little hint of raspberry color along the rose petals? Just gorgeous. All right, let's walk around this side. This rose, of course, always does super well. The deer never bother it. Must be because it's super spiky. And there is the clematis. That's Roguchi. Roguchi clematis, and I usually train it along the fence so I can enjoy it down here. And it got away from me before I caught it. And now if I move it, I'll probably snap a stem. But maybe I can go ahead and get one of the stems. I wanted to move these hollyhocks out of here because I wasn't a big fan of the color. And I just kept chopping it back, and it's determined. But one thing, if you chop back hollyhocks, they will bloom shorter if that's what you want from them. Then go ahead, don't be afraid. Now look, it's got the rust on it really bad. I usually remove those leaves. So that is how I take care of that. This Roseanne hardy geranium has gone bonkers, as usual. I did a video on hardy geraniums just a couple weeks ago or last week, and I show you how I prune them to keep them more compact. But there's times that with this one, I just let it go and do its thing, and it just blooms all summer long. So there's one of my Gumfrinas I started this spring, I do believe. Down here, this area doesn't get enough water, so they're not doing very well. That's something I gotta fix. So my European rose, look how beautiful it's doing. Beautiful. Some more daisies. There's self-seeded. And here's another Mystic Spire salvia. When I find a plant that really does well in my garden, I'll start popping it everywhere. And I always take cuttings of this just in case I have a super hard winter, and that way I'll always have them. Because, you know, if we have a super hard winter, it wouldn't come through it and live. And I wouldn't have it in my garden, but it's super easy to take cuttings. That is the hardy geranium elkie that I did a hard prune on for my video. It's recovering, coming back. I just took some cuttings of this sedum. Isn't that the most beautiful thing? I think this is called Plum Dazzled, but I am not certain. So, yeah. Look at all these foxgloves that reseeded themselves. Those will bloom next spring. And here is one of my hardy geraniums. This one's Patricia. And yeah, it's looking like it has a little chlorosis, so I'm going to have to look into what's going on here. This whole area needs a good mulching. Oh, that phlox needs a good deadheading. It'll bloom again if I deadhead it. My Happy Chappy Rose, which is still filled with grass and weeds, I need to take care of. This area, I was going to pull everything out and put more roses, but I don't have the heart now that it's in full bloom. So that will be a plan for maybe this fall. So look at these lavenders have been blooming for a couple weeks now. These are two dwarf ones. I don't know what they are, but they're not supposed to get any larger than this, where some lavenders can get very, very large. So this is Silver Queen, Creeping Time. And there is my chartreuse on the loose Nepeta. I'm loving that. I'm going to divide it and get more and put that around. I love that color of foliage.